Hello everybody, today we're going to be doing a test, another one with the 6.5 Grendel. I've got a bullet that's been highly requested and I was finally able to get my hands on some. Can you guess what it is? It's the Nosler 120 grain ballistic tip. This is a non-bonded bullet. It's got a ballistic coefficient of 0.485, so it's fairly high. I think this will end up being an excellent deer bullet for the 6.5 Grendel. It is a non-bonded bullet. However, what sets the Nosler ballistic tip apart from other cup and core bullets is the jacket, as it reaches towards the base, will get thicker. It gets thicker as it goes down towards the base, and this should help keep the bullet held together better. I've got some experience with the Nosler ballistic tip in both the 308 and the 300 Winchester, both using 125 grain ballistic tips, and they are nasty antelope rounds. They fly fast and flat. However, with this 120 grain will be about that sweet spot for the 6.5 Grendel as far as weight and speed goes, and I think this will end up making an excellent deer bullet. I've got 10 pieces of Starline brass primed with CCI 450 primers, and I will be using ramshot tack as the powder today. Seems like ramshot tack tends to give pretty good velocities according to the load manuals. Another powder I could use is CFE 223. There's less load data out there, but based on personal experience, I can probably get a little higher velocities with CFE. So, I don't know. I'll check the books. I'll get these loaded up. I'll let you know what I end up using. Stay tuned. We're going to do a speed test, water jug test, and then do a cleanup at the end, I guess you could call it, or a wrap-up video at the end, and see how these Nosler ballistic tips perform. Okay, so we've got the chronograph set up. We're gonna fire it and see how fast these bullets are going. I ended up going with CFE 223 instead of the ramshot tack, so we'll see what happens. So we got 2553 using CFE 223 and trying to get it to where you can see that. Kind of hard, but there are no extractor marks on the brass. Recoil felt fairly mild, and so I could probably get these going a little faster. I used 32 grains, but we could probably get a little higher velocities if I play around with it more. But 2550 is very respectable out of an 18-inch barrel. I'm using my Alexander Arms Hunter. The water jug set up. We'll go out to 200 yards and see how these bullets perform. All right, so I've got 3 def jugs, and I've got a coolant jug and an oil jug behind that, just for extra assurance that we catch the bullet. I'm going to go back to 200 yards and we'll see how this Nosler ballistic tip does. All right, well, that ballistic tip sure seemed to hit with some authority. We got the first jug here. If you look carefully, you can see some copper and lead fragments down in the first jug. Definitely blew the jug apart. Come over here to the second jug. we got an entrance hole right there. Looks like I had a real good center shot. Come to the back of the second, and it's heavily dented. Third jug is dented, but it doesn't look like it passed into the third. So bullet must be stuck in the second. We're going to pull it out and see how it looks. So to the right we have our bullet here, and there's the scale. Original weight was 120. Weigh it here. We got 79.8 grains, which puts us right at 66.5% weight retention. As we can see, this bullet got quite decent penetration. It expanded quite nicely. I think this would be a great deer bullet, excellent deer bullet for the 6.5 Grendel. It's got good BCs. We're getting pretty good speeds out of it. Again, I think I could get a little higher speeds with that. But overall, I'm impressed with the Nosler Ballistic tip. For me personally, I'm not as huge of a fan of non-bonded bullets. But because of the design that Nosler has with the base getting thicker as it gets closer and closer to the bottom of the bullet, I think that it's a very robust design, and you get excellent performance even though the bullet is non-bonded. I'm very happy with this bullet, and if you guys can get a hold of some, I would highly recommend rolling your own and using this as a deer and antelope hunting bullet, or even hogs out of the 6.5 Grendel. Well done, Nosler. This bullet was definitely a win, and one that I will likely be using in the future.